No joke, before the episode started, I'm like, how Watchmen is this going to get? Are they going to go all out? And then here's my face during the entire episode. I love it. What is up, Watchmen fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about Season 1, Episode 1, the premiere of the brand new Watchmen series on HBO. I need your comments down below. How do you feel about this episode? My goodness, so many things to discuss. I am going to be talking about the plot and certain things about this episode, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's worth watching. Come back. We'll talk about it. Let's do it. So in the episode, it's summer and we're running out of ice. Angela investigates the attempted murder of a fellow officer. The lord of a country estate receives an anniversary gift from his loyal servants, and things go awry. This show has a ridiculously stacked cast. Regina King, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and Jeremy Irons just to start out, and people continuously pop up here and there. I kind of knew. I thought I knew what I was in for going into this episode. I knew it would be very Watchmen-esque. It looked realistically artistic, but with this comic book graphic novel edge to it. Just seeing the trailer and all of the marketing up until this point has been fantastic. I go into the show, the entire episode, like I said, my face was just like, okay, trying to sort things out and put together plot points in my head while simultaneously trying to catch all of the references, not just to the Watchmen universe, because there are so many. If I even tried to start with all of the references, I couldn't get through them all because it's ridiculous how many they managed to shoehorn in a good way in one episode. And then the cultural references, the re-showing us in a very Watchmen way these historical instances and changing them up for what this story is supposed to be, absolutely. And then tying it into today's time and the political nature of what is going on in society, absolutely. Now, I was afraid when it started out in the episode, especially, it was going to be too heavy-handed. Not that I disagreed necessarily with what they are saying, but when something is heavy-handed, it is trying to nail down a point, slap you in the face with it and say, believe everything I have to say. But I thought the show did a wonderful job with not going in that direction and really playing all of these political things in a way that only enhanced the story and made everything more interesting. That's the word I'm going to use for the Watchmen premiere. It is so interesting. One, what the heck was going on in this show? But the entire time, while you're wondering, what does this mean? What does that mean? You're so intrigued with what is going to happen next. And it all really starts with the slick direction, the beautiful cinematography. My goodness. The shot where the stars blends into the wet street, the cinematography showcasing the vehicles overhead, the background shots, all of the attention to detail. It is a beautifully shot show. We expect that with HBO, absolutely, but I'm glad they are bringing that to a comic book / graphic novel based show. In terms of the actual story, where the heck are we going? So we start with an interesting depiction of the Tulsa Massacre, something that I definitely was not ready for. We learn President Robert Redford? That's the president? Okay. And then Vietnam was annexed by the United States. So many details in this alternative universe, details that were shocking to say the least. And if you miss a line of dialogue, you may be missing something that's going to come into play 20 or 30 minutes later. And that's the thing about what I've already seen just from the first episode of Watchmen is everything is important. Everything is relevant. The references, if they don't make sense now, and some of them don't, there are so many story points and plot points that I'm just curious about what the heck is going to happen with Jeremy Irons' character. It was no secret he was playing Ozymandias. It was no secret what character was going to come in and say, boom, it's me, here's what I'm doing. And if you guys did not stick around and check out the preview for the next batch of episodes that we are getting, it looks to me like he is planning. He is plotting for a way to kind of take down everyone. Not just the good, not just the bad. Pretty much everybody who is going to get in his way. It's the same old character that we knew, but I love the fact that they got him. He is the perfect representation of that character at that age especially, but I am a big fan of what they are doing with the character of, if you guys know the character, Sister Knight, played by Regina King. She's great. A wonderful protagonist, someone I am already rooting for just from seeing her in the first episode. So you have this masked police force, obviously what spawned from the events of the Watchmen. Everything has shifted, everything has changed. The world has basically gone to chaos, and you have this rising group who embodies the spirit of Rorschach. Little do they know that they're just... That's not what he believed in. They are completely off the wall with their beliefs, and this police force that is gathering together with these masked individuals who were just awesome. And I know some of the outfits were wonky. Someone puts the mask on, I'm like, how do you breathe through that? Just listen. It is the ultimate representation of keeping your identity a secret, down to the police officers, and we learn from a story that she tells to a group of kids how she's trying to figure out how to get the bullet out of her, that this is how life is now. We have to do this to keep ourselves safe and our families safe. We understand that as an audience who continuously watches superhero movies. They apply that rule to the protagonists of this show, and we see that they are kind of coming together to stop this greater force that will be approaching in future episodes. But first, we have to figure out what the heck happened at the end of this episode. And we saw it coming when the character of Judd Crawford was going out by himself, just the build-up, the music, the TikTok. We saw that he wasn't going to make it out. I said it out loud. And, of course, he's dead and he's hanging from a tree, but how the heck did that happen? Who is this guy in the wheelchair? And I loved the little, you can't lift over 200 pounds, that line that they slid in there earlier. That was fantastic because, obviously, something happened there. We don't know what this means necessarily yet, but I did love the nod to the comedian with the blood drop on his button at the end. I thought that scene was filmed just expertly, and there's so many things about this story and this show so far that I see from an artistic standpoint, absolutely, but just from a story standpoint, the fact that we have nothing else like this on television right now, it was brilliantly executed. I'm still a bit confused on certain things, but I think everyone's a bit confused. That's kind of the beauty of what a pilot is. It sets up questions that are going to be answered later on in the season. People on Twitter are like, what the heck's all the squids falling from the sky? Little do they know, we're going to see the mother squid eventually. There are so many little comic book nuggets in there that if you have read The Watchmen and you know who these characters are and their personas, and we see them pop up on screen, we're like, oh my goodness, cast perfectly. I love everything about this cast so far, and I am really intrigued with this pilot. I can't sit here and say that everything was perfect because, like I said, there are so many moments where I'm just like, that was an odd choice, maybe an odd line of dialogue, but I'm intrigued, man, and I do at the end of the day. At the end of this season, I believe this show is going to stand out as one of the best shows of the year because to have a pilot this strong tells me that they know what they're doing. They're bringing it in the filmmaking and the acting division. All we need now is the proper tie-up to a lot of these storylines that they're setting up in this episode. They will continue to set up in the next few episodes, and then by the time we get to the end of this season, we are going to have one epic, climactic finale. I absolutely know it, and I can't wait to see where this show heads. I had a great time with this series premiere, man. I love these characters. I loved the nod. On screen when they were teasing the event, they had the animated versions of the characters from the movie, and it's like, okay, what is that all about? Just a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff that I'm going to have to sort out in my mind. If you guys would like to see another video just kind of talking about the Easter eggs, let me know. But I will definitely be back next week talking about Episode 2. We're going to see where the story goes. We're going to see where these characters, what direction they end up heading in. And I want to find out about the guy set up at the beginning from the Tulsa Massacre. The guy in the wheelchair. What's that character all about? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I want to know. This is all about the discussion. I need to know in the comments down below. How did you feel about this pilot? Did it live up to your expectations? And are you as intrigued as I am, or were you just like, nope, it's too stupid? I get it. I understand. But I thought it was fantastic. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be back very soon with another Watchmen review. But before that, we've got plenty of movies to talk about this week, from Eddie Murphy's Dolomite movie coming on Netflix to The Lighthouse. And we're going to talk about all of those things. You guys are the best. I'll see you soon.